Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today we're going to be doing my May book haul. In the month of May I have hauled 27 books. Not all of those have been bought by me, but most of them have. Some have been gifted by publishers and some have been gifted by some of my lovely subscribers and patrons and friends. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this because I don't want to be here for ages. I don't want this to be a really long video. Also, I think my battery might die before I can get to the end of this. So let's see what we can do. But first, let's go through the books that were gifted to me by publishers. So the first one is Of Princes and Promises by Sandia Menon. This was gifted to me by Hodder, so thank you to them for gifting me a copy of this one. This comes out on the 8th of June, so keep your eyes open for this one. I have enjoyed Sandia Menon's books previously. I've read When Dimple Met Rishi and There's Something About Sweetie, and I still want to read this 10 Things I Hate About Pinky. Is that right? I can't remember what it's called. I'll show a picture of the cover here. And also From Twinkle with Love, I have as well. But I don't know the full ins and outs of this one. Katerina is determined to show that she's still the Queen of Rosetta Academy. Sure, her crown may be slightly askew after her ex-boyfriend Alaric cheated on her, but she's a Lavelle. She'll find a way to march right back in there, her hands clutching the strings the whole puppet show. This time she's going to be untouchable. Rahul Chopra knows that the moment he shared with Katerina at the winter formal meant something. Surely she feels it too. He's a little uncertain how someone like him, socially inept to the point past adorable, could fit in her world, but he loved Katerina for years. He knows they'll find a way. When Katerina finds out Alaric is taking a supermodel to the upcoming gala, she knows she cannot arrive without the perfect date. But the thought of taking another superficial Rosetta boy exhausts her. The solution? Sweet but clueless Raoul and a mysterious pot of hair gel with the power to alter the wearer into whatever his heart desires. When Raoul tries it, he transforms instantly into R.C. debonair, handsome and charming. But transformation comes with a price. As Raoul enjoys his new social standing, the line between his two personas begins to blur. Will he give up everything, including Katerina, to remain RC, or will this unlikely pairing find their way back to each other? Sounds really interesting. So yeah, thank you to Hodder for sending me this one. Then we have The Fading of the Light by Charlotte Betts. This is been gifted to me by Little Brown, so thank you to them for gifting me this one. And this is the second in a series. I read the first one, I'll show a picture of it here, last year, and I actually really enjoyed it. This is historical fiction, slice of life type book that follows a group of people who essentially are artists, and it follows them through marriage, divorce, having babies, friendships, other things like that, and it's just really good. I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. So yeah, I am looking forward to continuing on with this series, so thank you to Little Brown for sending me a copy of this one as well. Then we have Pumpkin by Julie Murphy. This was sent to me by Balza and Bray, and I am on the book tour for this one. Thank you to Pride Book Tours for getting me on this one. We're following Waylon Russell Brewer, who is a fat, openly gay boy stuck in the small West Texas town of Clover City. He is biding his time until he can graduate and then leave town with his sister Clementine, but her plans change, and then he makes an audition video for a favourite TV drag series, fiercest of them all. What he doesn't count on is the tape accidentally getting leaked to school, and then as a joke he is up for being prom queen, and his sister Clementine's girlfriend Hannah is up for being a prom king, so they end up running for both of those, and I'm really looking forward to this one. It sounds so good. I really enjoyed Dumpling. I haven't read Pudding yet, but I really enjoyed Dumpling, so I'm looking forward to this one. So thank you to the publishers and also Pride Book Tours for getting me this book. Also, it's beautiful. Then I also have The Key to You and Me by Jane Robin Brown. This one again has been gifted to me by the publishers Harper Teen, and also I'm on the tour for this one via Pride Book Tours, so thank you to them again for this one, and I'm really looking forward to this one. This is following Pippa Kitts, who has a dream: ride in the Olympics, win back the girl, get over her fear of driving, but right now she's going nowhere fast, and when she's offered the chance to train in North Carolina, she leaps at the opportunity to have her broken heart behind. to leave her broken heart behind even. Kat Pearson has her guard up. Her family won't care if she comes out, but her hometown is too small to colour outside the lines. The last thing Kat wants is a label she can't shake, especially since she's never had the chance to kiss a girl. And when she lands a last-minute summer job, she has no idea it's going to put her directly in the path of the girl who finally turned her small-town red light to green. Jane Robin Brown's refreshingly fun and sweet romance about finding love when you least expect it will steal your heart. Looks like this is multiple POV as well, so I'm really excited about this one. So thank you again to the publisher and also Pride Book Tours. And then another Pride Book Tours one is Between Perfect and Real by Ray Stoev. And this was sent to me by Amulet, so thank you to the publishers for sending me this one, and this comes out on the 10th of June. This one has already come out, it came out on the 27th of May, so did this one, I think. And this one doesn't come out until July, I'm fairly certain. I'll leave a thing here. So this one, I think I want to transition, but I have to come out first, I just don't know how. Dean Foster knows he's a trans guy. He's watched enough YouTube videos and done enough questioning to be sure, but everyone at his high school thinks he's a lesbian, including his girlfriend Zoe, and his theatre director who just cast him as a non-traditional Romeo. He wonders if maybe it would be easier to wait until college to come out, but as he plays Romeo every day in rehearsals, Dean realises he wants everyone to see him as he really is now, not just on stage but everywhere in his life. Dean knows what he needs to do. Can playing a role help Dean to be true to himself? Sorry, my battery died. Really interestingly enough, this isn't the first book that I'll be reading this month, well, the month of June, that has a non-traditional Romeo being cast, so that's interesting. So thank you to all the publishers for sending me these ones. I really do appreciate it massively, so thank you very much. Then I have a stack of secondhand books that I've gotten. So the first one is Other Words for Home, which is by Jasmine Waga, and I wanted to read this one for the basically mini Asian readathon that I did. I'll leave a link to it up here if you want to go check it out. I just didn't get a chance to pick it up over the weekend, which I'm gutted about because I really wanted to. But this is told in verse, and it's following Jude, who never thought she'd be leaving her beloved older brother and father behind all the way across the ocean in Syria. But when things in her hometown start becoming volatile, Jude and her mother are sent to live in Cincinnati with relatives. At first, everything in America seems too fast and too loud. The American movies that Jude has always loved hadn't quite prepared her for starting school in the US, and for her new label of Middle Eastern as an identity she'd never known before. But this life also brings unexpected surprises. There are new friends, a whole new family, and a school musical that Jude might just try out for. Maybe America too is a place where Jude can be seen as she really is. The lyrical, life-affirming story is about losing and finding home, and most important, finding yourself. It sounds fantastic, so I didn't get a chance to pick it up for that, but I'm hoping to get to it soon because it sounds really good, and I believe the audio is great as well. Then I also got An Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Frederick Backman. I picked this up after seeing G reading this one and saying that she absolutely loved it. I think it's now her favourite book of the year, if I'm correct in saying so. She really loved it. It's literally a very short 74-page novella. I believe that we are following Grandpa and grandson, who are basically just reminiscing. They're sat on a bench reminiscing, and Grandpa has dementia, and he's really worried about forgetting about his wife who passed previous years, I think. So I'm really looking forward to picking this one up. It sounds fantastic, and I'm really hoping to get to it in the month of June as well. Then I have The Dead House by Dawn Kurtagich. I picked this up because Ashley mentioned this one in a live show with Jean and Leanne one day, and it sounded really interesting. So I believe that, oh, on the back it says, I curse anyone who reads this book, screw you, happy reading, yay. 25 years ago, Elmbridge High School burned down. 3 students were killed in the blaze, 20 were injured, and 1, Carly Johnson, disappeared. For 2 decades, little was uncovered about what became known as the Johnson incident until now. So I believe that this is a bit of like a thrillery horror, and I'm really excited about it. It sounds really interesting. So I managed to get it secondhand from eBay, and like the pages have been, you know, deemed burned, because I think essentially this is a diary and it's found like 25 years after the fire. and it explains what happened to Carly, I assumed. But it sounds really interesting, so yeah, pick that up because of Ashley. And then I also got Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell, which if anyone knows, I am reading this series at the moment. I've only read Spellslinger so far, but I have a hardback copy of Spellslinger. It's up there on Seb's shelf. However, I really wanted a copy with the red sprayed edges, which are almost virtually impossible to get, but thank you to the lovely person that messaged me on Twitter to tell me that these are going on Depop for a really reasonable price. I managed to get this one, I think it was for about 12 quid, which is a really reasonable price considering these are going for like anywhere between 50 and 100 quid on eBay, if not more. So I'm really excited to have this. It's a gorgeous copy as well, so thank you to the person who sent me this, and thank you to the person who gave me the tip off as well. I really appreciate it. So really glad now that I have the whole collection actually of the sprayed edges, because Maddie got me Queenslayer with the purple sprayed edges. Thanks Mads for this one. She spotted it in her local Waterstones and asked if I had this one, because I had just bought Crownbreaker and also Soulbinder from my local Waterstones, but they didn't have any others. And I already had, this is going to test me now because I can't remember, Shadow Black and Crownbreaker. Crownbreaker. I already had those that I'd gotten from Amazon with the sprayed edges, which is why I then decided I wanted to get the collection. So Maddie had this one in her local Waterstones and she sent me a copy of it, so I really appreciate that one. Thank you Mads, I love you. And then the other books that were gifted to me were Outlander by Diana Valdon, I think that's how you pronounce that, terrible, which was gifted to me by Megan. Congrats on hitting 30 books in 30 days. That's so impressive. I really enjoy the series and the show. I hope you do too. The audiobooks come highly recommended from my mother. I've heard great things about the audiobook. I've heard that the first book is fantastic, and if you decide not to carry on, you're not really missing out on anything. They kind of dip and then become good again. But I'm loving the series so far. I am partway through series 2, I think. I'm near the end of series 2. So loving the series so far, and I really wanted to try at least the first book. So thank you so much Megan for gifting me this one. I really appreciate it. This is a historical fantasy book. Essentially it's very light on the fantasy though. It's literally almost like magical realism. Essentially we are following Claire Randall, who lives in 1946, and then she lives with her husband and they go and visit Scotland, and she ends up touching this stone. There's like a stone circle. She ends up touching this stone and it takes her back in time to 1743, where she meets basically the first person she meets is a British Army officer, her husband's 6-time great grandfather, but he is a bit of a bastard, and yeah, things happen and it's fantastic. I just love it. It's great. So yeah, thank you so much Megan for this one. Then I have The Way of Kings Part 1 and The Way of Kings Part 2 by Brandon Sanderson to read, which were gifted again by Megan. Congrats on 4K. Is this the same Megan? No, different Megan. And basically it says, congrats on 4K, you deserve this and so much more. You are a ray of positivity and bring so much comforting vibes in your video. Wishing you all the best and hope you are well. Thank you so much Megan, you are an angel. So now I have Way of Kings parts 1 and 2, which are essentially just like one book, but they've been split in two because the binding wouldn't cope with all of the pages otherwise. So thank you so much for this one. I don't know anything about this yet. I've not read the back and I'm going not to do so. I refuse to do so even until I come to read the books, because I don't know, I don't want to be spoiled. Also I need to make sure that I read part 1 first and not part 2 first, because that would spoil the book for me. So yeah, I am looking forward to continuing on with these though. I think at this point you get into the Stormlight Arc. Yes, the Stormlight Archives book 1. So this is book 1 in the Stormlight Archives, and then I think it's I don't know if it's Oathbringer or something else. I'm not sure. Oh, Words of Radiance, Edge Dancer, and then Oathbringer. Fair enough. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much Megan for gifting me these. I really appreciate it. Then we have Zara Hussein is Here by Sabina Khan. I've heard really good things about this one. I think this is a new release as well. We're following Zara Hussein, who is torn between her identity, culture, family and love. Her family moved from Pakistan to Texas when she's a baby, but she's still struggling to fit in. She's the only Muslim girl at her conservative school and a target for racist bullies like Tyler Benson. But things take a violent turn after Tyler sprays Islamophobic graffiti on Zara's locker and is suspended. Suddenly, the entire future of Zara's family is at stake. A powerful, compassionate story of what it means to be an immigrant today and the endurance of hope and faith in the face of hate. It's very short, but thank you so much to Joanne for sending me this one. Just wanted to say how much I am enjoying your YouTube videos. Hope you enjoy this book. It looks like a good one. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to pick this one up. Again, I wanted to get to it for Asian Readathon, but I just did not get the chance to pick it up, unfortunately. And then finally we have Some Girls Do by Jennifer Duggan, which is a belated birthday present from Maddie. She pre-ordered this for my birthday, but it only came out very recently. So thank you so much, Mads, for sending me this one. I appreciate it and I love you. Jennifer Duggan is one of Maddie's favourite authors. And I'm really excited to pick this one up. I've heard great things. It is queer. This cover is gorgeous and I'm hyped. Can they go the distance together? Morgan, an elite track athlete, is forced to transfer late in her senior year after it turns out being gay is against her private Catholic school's code of conduct. Ruby loves nothing more than tinkering with her baby blue 1974 Torino, but most weekends she's stuck living out the dreams of her mother, a former beauty queen, by competing in local pageants. Morgan and Ruby are drawn to each other, and when they're together, Ruby begins to envision a future for herself she never thought possible. But while Morgan, out and proud and determined to have a fresh start, doesn't want to have to keep their budding relationship a secret, Ruby has never told anyone about the feelings she's denied for herself so long. From the author of Hot Dog Girl comes this unforgettable, achingly honest contemporary queer romance about what happens when you find first love while you're still discovering who you really are. I'm so excited to pick this up. I'm really hyped. I love the dynamic between these girls already, Morgan and Ruby, because I love that Morgan is a track athlete and I love that Ruby loves tinkering with her car. But also is a beauty queen as well. Like, I just love it. I'm already excited. Thank you so much, Maddie, for sending me this one. I really appreciate it. I really want to get to it in June. I just don't think I'm going to have the chance to do so. And then we have a rather large stack of books that I gifted myself because apparently I have zero chill. I just got really excited, okay? I got Lockwood & Co. by Jonathan Stroud. This is The Screaming Staircase. It's the first in the Lockwood & Co. series, which I've heard incredible things about. This is going to be one of Middle Grade Monthly's book picks. I can't remember what month. I will write it here. And I'm really hyped. On the back, very briefly, it says, the dead are back to haunt the living. Evil spirits crowd the street after dark. Are you in danger of being a ghost touched? Sounds great. I am here for it. Very excited, heard incredible things, so I'm looking forward to picking this one up. Not small at all, but floppy. Excited. It's been on my radar for a while, that, so I'm really glad that Middle Grade Monthly are going to be reading it for one of the months. I'm hyped. Another Middle Grade Monthly pick is Rust by, City of Rust, sorry, by Gemma Fowler. This is a Carl James Mountford cover, which Jade is obviously very excited about. So I'm looking forward to this one. Also, I hadn't realised how large the text is in here. On the back, very briefly, it says, Rayleigh brushed her hand along Attie's back and he felt a little steadier. Just like the races, they were in this together. That's all I'm going to give you. I'm really excited about this one. It sounds great. Again, can't remember what month this is for, so I will leave it here. But I will link Middle Grade Monthly down below so you can go and check them out. Their Twitter page, but basically Middle Grade Monthly is a middle grade book club that is hosted by Jade and Gavin. Again, I will link both of their channels down below. Please do go check them out because they're amazing and I love them a whole hecking ton. Then we have How to Save a Life by Eve Carter. This was an impulse buy. I was buying some other stuff and I saw this for a really good deal and I impulsively bought it. I've heard really good things though. This has recently just come out and I've heard great things. And also it sounds fantastic. Joel's heart stops as the rest of the world welcomes the start of a new century. What happens next will change the course of 3 people's lives forever. Kerry performs CPR until the ambulance arrives, but her life will be thrown off course as a direct result of saving Joel. Tim, who wants to be a doctor, freezes in fear when it's his turn to help. His failure will haunt every decision he makes for years to come. As for Joel, he has a miraculous second chance that he can't help seeing as second best. It takes 18 minutes to restart Joel's heart and 18 years for Kerry, Tim and Joel to deal with the consequences. Structured around the 4 simple steps involved in CPR, How to Save a Life is both a love story and a story about heroism, because being a hero is so much more than a split-second decision. It's also about how you choose to live your life afterwards. It sounds so good, and I'm also obsessed with the fact that this has a lyric from Chasing Cars on the title. So yeah, really excited about this one. Also, anyone else think of Grey's Anatomy the second they hear this song, or is that just me?
Okay, I'll do it.
Thank you. Then we have Rainbow Grey by Laura Ellen Anderson, which I got the Waterstones exclusive copy of because I really wanted this. How pretty is this? I'm obsessed. Laura Ellen Anderson has done the Amelia Fang series, which I've absolutely loved. And I'm really excited to pick up Rainbow Grey. On the back it says the world needs a rainbow like never before. 10-year-old Ray Grey. That's so cool. 10-year-old Ray Grey wishes she had magic like her friends. Life in the Weatherlands just isn't the same without it. But then a forbidden trip to Earth turns everything Ray thought she knew about herself upside down. Ray must dig deep to find her inner power, battle new enemies and let her true colours shine. Listen, this kitty cloud is adorable. I'm obsessed. I can't wait to pick this up. This is heavily illustrated, as are all of Laura's books, but I believe there is also an illustration in here of Gavin, which I am freaking hyped about seeing, because Gavin is my favourite. I love him. So yeah, I am hyped for this. I cannot wait to read this. I can't find where the illustration is, but I'm really excited. So yeah, I then have Hot Dog Girl and also Verona Comics by Jennifer Duggan, because if I'm gonna have some girls do, I might as well have the set. So I'm really excited about these two as well, both queer I believe. So this one is You've Got Mail gets a queer YA twist, which I'm friggin' here for, because You've Got Mail is one of my favourite books is one of my favourite movies of all time. I'm obsessed. And then this one is There Are Worse Things in the World Than Being a Hot Dog. Probably. So yeah, really looking forward to both of these. I'm not going to go into the synopsis of them because we'll be here all day otherwise, because I've still got a stack of other books to get through. I've got Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Probably nobody's surprised about this one because it's a new release and it's Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I have loved Daisy Jones and the Six and also Evelyn Hugo, and I'm reading One True Loves this month as well in June. But I believe that this is following Nina Rivers' annual end of summer party, and is anticipation is at fever pitch. I believe that this is like a huge party, like a celebrity type party, and there is a fire. I'm not sure what else happens, but it's set in Malibu in August 1983, and I am here for it. Also, this cover is one of the prettiest things I've ever seen in my life. Very nice indeed. This stack's getting ridiculous. Then we have Honey and Issues Guide to Fake Dating, and I cannot wait to read this one. This is going on my June TBR because my patrons picked this for me to read out of a stack of 4. This is easygoing and popular. Hanny Khan has it all until she comes out as bisexual and her friends don't believe her. An academic overachiever, Issue Day, has a lot to prove, but her short-haired girl relies on being popular. Their solution? Pretend to be dating, even though they hardly know and definitely don't like each other. But as they get closer, things get messy. Can 2 Bengali girls find happily ever after, even when the odds are stacked against them? It just sounds fantastic, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, hyped. Then we have Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. I have loved Abby's 2 previous books, even though I read them in the wrong fucking order. I read the Happily Ever playlist and then read the next one, which is The Friend Zone. If you're gonna read these, please read them in order. Read The Friend Zone and then the Happily Ever After playlist and then Life's Too Short, because the main character from the Happily Ever After playlist, her story starts in Life's Too Short. Like, literally, she's a side character in Life's Too Short, but her entire story starts in that book. It was a pain in the ass reading that one first. So please read, did I just say The Friend Zone? Please read The Friend Zone first, then the Happily Ever After playlist, and then this one. In this one, following Vanessa Price, who quits her job to pursue her dream of traveling the globe. She wasn't expecting to gain millions of YouTube followers who shared her joy of seizing every moment. For her, living each day to its fullest isn't just a motto. Her mother and sister never saw the age of 30 and Vanessa doesn't want to take anything for granted. But after her half-sister suddenly leaves Vanessa in custody of her baby daughter, life goes from daily adventure to hourly nappy change. The last person Vanessa expects to show up offering help is the hot lawyer next door, Adrian Copeland. After all, she barely knows him. No one warned her that he was the secret baby tamer, or that she'd be spending a whole lot of time with him and his geriatric chihuahua. Now she's feeling things she's vowed not to feel, because the only thing worse than falling for Adrian is finding a little hope for a future she may never see. This sounds fantastic. Abby does a great job of including really important, potentially life-threatening things within her books, so I really enjoy her writing style, so I'm excited to read that one. Then we have the 10-year anniversary edition of The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. I hadn't even finished The Hero of Ages when I bought this, but Amazon were having a ridiculous deal literally 2 days ago when I'm filming this, and this is £3.41. And I was like, as if I'm going to say no. I friggin' love this series, as if I'm going to say no to a special edition version of it. So yeah, really happy to have this. I don't need to tell you what The Hero of Ages is about. Ooh, look, pretty maps. But yeah, this is the special edition version. I don't have books 1 and 2, the special edition version. I will get around to them at some point. But for £3.41, I was not going to pull my nose up at it. So similarly, Ascender Volume 3 was £2.40 odd. So I wasn't going to say no. I don't have Ascender Volume 2. I do have Ascender Volume 1. I've just not read it yet. But yeah, again, wasn't going to pull my nose up at it. Ascender is following one of the characters from Descender, which is a sci-fi series that basically has like robots and things in it. And it's really good. But I haven't read Ascender yet because I wanted to try and make sure that I had a few of them lined up so I could read them back to back a little bit. So yeah. But we're up to Volume 3 now, apparently, so I need to get my hands on Volume 2, then I can start reading it. And then finally, we have Project Hail Mary by Andy. I did buy the paperback version, because I wanted a paperback version to match my paperback version of The Martian. But this is like an American paperback version. There's just no need for me to have that. I don't want it, so now I need to get rid of that. So I bought the hardback because this ended up coming down in price as well, and it was a tenner. So I was like, yes, please. I've heard incredible things about this one. I'm really excited about reading it because I loved The Martian. It's one of my favourite books of all time. So I'm hyped for this. A lone astronaut, an impossible mission, an ally he never imagined. Ryland Grace is the sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission, and if he fails, humanity and the Earth itself will perish. Except that right now he doesn't know that. He can't even remember his own name, let alone the nature of his assignment or how to complete it. All he knows is that he's been asleep for a very long time, and he's just been awakened to find himself millions of miles from home with nothing but 2 corpses for company. His crewmate's dead, his memories fuzzily returning. Ryland realises that an impossible task now confronts him. Hurling through space on this tiny ship, it's up to him to puzzle out an impossible scientific mystery and conquer an extinction. Level threats to our species. And with the clock ticking down and the nearest human being light years away, he has to do it all alone. Or does he? An irresistible interstellar adventure as only Andy Weir could imagine. Project Hail Mary is a tale of discovery, speculation and survival to rival the Martian while taking us places it never dreamed of going. I just loved The Martian, so I'm really excited about reading this one. So that is my rather large haul. So this is my haul. You can't see it all because it goes further, but I can't hold it all because it's too much. So yeah, 27 books. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these and if you recommend any of them. Obviously I've read some of them, and a lot of them are going on my June TBR, but I'm really excited about all of these books. I'm so hyped. Thank you to everybody that gifted me something, whether you are a publisher, a subscriber, a Patreon, a friend. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now.